Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So right now, looking at this Bitcoin price action, you can see the price of Bitcoin is flashing a very bearish scenario at this current stage. So the question here is the trend going to continue further in a downward direction, or are we also going to talk about some bullish scenario that could also be playing out parallelly? So guys, today in this video, I'm actually going to show you some very interesting scenario unfolding right now for Bitcoin price action. And also, before I dive into the content, I would really appreciate if you could take 2 seconds of your time and smash the like button. And for those individuals watching this video for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So now, if we look at this price structure and look at this scenario, this bearish scenario first, what is unfolding, right? I'm actually going to start with bearish scenario, and then I'm actually going to show you some bullish scenario that could also be playing out parallelly. So looking at this price action, if you remember from yesterday, this dead cat bounce trading pattern, what I showed you. So this is how dead cat bounce scenario actually looks like. This 0.1 to 0.2 is going to be our move here in a downward direction from this swing high till this swing low level, right? This bounce here, this dead cat bounce from this 0.2 till 0.3 area. So this maximum bounce what we could get here would be around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, or in our case we are talking about 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. And after that, if we are going to see any sort of rejection, the trend is more likely going to follow in a downward direction. And if we look at this, in our case, we did have a support here, right? This price came exactly at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, and now we are witnessing a rejection. If this is going to act as a dead cat bounce scenario, then now we have already got a retracement here after reaching the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So this is actually indicating we might be heading in a downward direction according to this dead cat bounce scenario, because if this is going to play out as a dead cat bounce scenario, then this here is the kind of pullback what we are looking at. The price pullback here must be actually lower than this 0.2 area, because you can see in dead cat bounce, this 0.2 is where we had a bounce, and after getting rejection, this is how the trend actually start moving in a downward direction. And this is exactly what could also be playing out right now for Bitcoin. And not only this one scenario, yesterday I also forgot to mention, I showed you guys this reaccumulation phase from WYCKOFF, why this was also a very important chart to look at. But along with that, we had another bearish scenario that was unfolding, and I completely forgot to show to you, and that was this head and shoulder pattern. And if we look at this price pullback right now, this price pullback could indicate, hey, this could be forming a right shoulder at this current stage, because if that is going to pan out as a head and shoulder pattern, guys, breaking the neckline area could indicate a very bearish scenario for Bitcoin. Let's suppose if this is actually going to act as a head and shoulder pattern, and we are going to see a move in a downward direction. So if this is going to play out as a head and shoulder pattern, or if the price of Bitcoin is not going to find support at the neckline area and we are going to see a move here in a downward direction, according to this head and shoulder pattern, 21,800 or 22,000 price level could be our target area if this is going to play out. Not just only this head and shoulder, I just showed you guys dead cat bounce scenario after getting a rejection at the 0.5 area. This is also flashing some sort of a movement in a downward direction. Now let's also look at some positive side, what could also be playing out right now for Bitcoin, because if we look at the price structure in a 4-hour time frame and use this rising trend line to identify the possible trend direction, because you can see here, this rising trend line has acted as a very strong support. And also yesterday when we had this price correction, we came exactly at this rising trend line, found support. And now what does this price pullback mean is that if we are going to see a pullback around this rising trend line area, right? If we are going to see a pullback around this rising trend line area, this rising trend line could actually act as a very strong support for Bitcoin. And not only this support, this is also showing us a possible trend direction. And why does this actually matter is because let's say we are going to find support around this rising trend line area. If that is going to happen, this is the exact scenario what I am actually expecting price of Bitcoin to do. Double top, pull back, this move here in an upper direction. Look at this here, right? So, and again a pullback scenario. So if we are going to find support at this rising trend line, as I've already said you guys, this is the type of movement I'm actually expecting price of Bitcoin to do, and break out of this ascending triangle in a very bullish manner, because this is reaccumulation phase, and a reaccumulation is a continuation pattern, and this price structure or this price movement is just a temporary relief before price starts moving in an upward direction again. So this is what I see looking at the price action in a 4-hour time frame. And if we look at this price structure in an hourly time frame right now, So if we look at this now in an hourly time frame, what is happening here? Because if you look at the price structure here, guys, and look at this scenario here, this descending broadening wedge scenario, which is also playing out very well in a smaller time frame, in an hourly time frame. Why? Because you can see here, this trend line has previously acted as a support, and the same trend line along with this upper line of the descending broadening wedge acted as a resistance, and then we had this move here in a downward direction, right? So again, let's say here, you can see, guys, this is unfolding again and again. Similar scenario, you can see here, support and resistance. We were unable to find support at this area. We had this price pullback. So you can see this each and every trend line or this price movement inside this descending broadening wedge has something to show us, because you can see support, resistance, and now the same line acted as a resistance when the price was heading in an upper direction around this 36,500 price level, right? So now you can see, guys, again, let's look at to the downside, and to the downside you can see this price area. We do have some support lying around this price structure here, around 32,000 price level, and now we are also showing some sort of a support around this price level. So let's see if this is going to hold the price or not, because if this does actually hold the price, then you can see, guys, the upper target would be the previous resistance line. This resistance line is going to be our target area, which is around 36,500, 36,600 area. And to the upside, again, this is going to be our next target, and so on, right? So this target would be somewhere around 38,700 if we are actually going to find support at this current stage. So this is what I see right now looking at the price action of Bitcoin in a 4-hour time frame and also in an hourly time frame. So now let us also have a quick look at Ethereum price action today. So now if we look at this Ethereum USD chart in a 4-hour time frame, guys, what we can do is we can also include this rising trend line scenario here, because you can see yesterday when we had this price pullback, price also got a really strong support exactly after reaching this rising trend line area, and you can see this weak rejection here to the downside, and after that this move here in an upward direction. But now, just like with the Bitcoin, we are also witnessing some sort of a pullback. But for Ether, guys, as I've already said with Bitcoin, if this is going to see any sort of a pullback, then this rising trend line is again going to act as a very strong support for Ethereum as well. Let me show you some interesting area that could also matter a lot at this current stage, because if we remember properly, when we had this price breaking out of this upper line of this ascending triangle, I told you guys this could be turning out as a very bullish scenario. And you can see after that we did manage to see a really nice break in an upper direction. Not only there, this could also be a very nice ascending triangle scenario. You can see we did manage to find a support above this upper line area of this ascending triangle. We had a really nice breakout, but this was unable to continue further, and then you can see the downward movement or this downward rally follow right after that, right? But now, again, what I'm actually trying to show you here is each and every trend line which has previously acted as a support and resistance could be another support for Ethereum at this current stage. Because if you look at this trend line area, which previously acted as a support and resistance, let me show you here, right? Look at this. Resistance. Once we were able to find support above it, this was a very strong support, and after that a move in an upper direction continued, right? You can see this trend line also acted as a very strong resistance. When the price was unable to find support, we had this big price pullback. Right now you can see exactly at the previous resistance line around this 1040 1045 area, this is exactly where we are also finding support at this current stage for Ethereum. So if this is going to fail, then we know this rising trend line is going to act as a support. But if this is going to continue, our next target would be the previous resistance line. So this area is around 1265 for Ethereum. And you can see, guys, if you look at this in a bigger time frame, you can see, guys, the upper target of 1370 and 1410 has not been reached yet, but the rest target was a very nice hit. And now we are also seeing this pullback. But if you look at this trend line area where we are right now, around this 1045, not just with the smaller time frame, but also this trend line area, right? This trend line here, what we are looking at, you can see support, and this is exactly where we are also finding support right now for Ethereum in a bigger time frame. So not just only the support from this resistance line here, right, and also this rising trend line, we also have support around that price level of 1044, 1045 in a bigger time frame, in a weekly time frame. So if this is going to fail, right, so let's say if all the support is going to fail, the next downward target would be again this trend line area, which is around 915 price level to the downside, right? And to the upside, as I've already said you, this 1370 is still not been reached yet. So let's see if we could find support in between this. So even if we are going to consolidate, that is actually still a very good sign, because after that there is a likely scenario of price to continue further in an upper direction. So guys, this is what I see right now looking at price action of Ethereum and price action of Bitcoin. So this is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, hit the like button, and also if you're watching this for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.